Hello, good morning. Happy Friday? Yes, today is Friday. It's about time too. Feels like it's been a long week. Sylvie, hi, you wanna hang out? Xanax, Mr. Andrew, and the real Enrico. Hello. How you all doing today? I don't have LinkedIn set up on this computer or logged in on this computer rather, so I'll probably forget to. Uh, but if you add me, or if you find me, then I'll be happy to add you back. I'm not necessarily the best at friendship. Oh yeah, I don't do friendship on any of the social medias really. Just sort of adding associations. Let's see. Stacking had a really cool find on Discord. Let's see if we can take a look at it. It was it was that on Mac computers. So if you have a Mac, then Discord is not working the link. The invitation expired. Oh no. Hold on. You mean, wait, this one? That one's expired? We can fix that. I can fix that. I thought I told that one to not expire. Maybe they still expire. Invite. Okay, you are in. Where did you get the link? Maybe I have it somewhere else that I need to refresh that. All right, perfect. I will give a hello there. Oh yeah, I have Nightbot. Oh, I was gonna say I have Nightbot say like don't do the command again after X amount of time, but I guess it's that same one. I don't know. Sometimes those links can like also, if Discord's having problems, it'll claim that it's like not good. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But all right. News that I heard from Discord. Because that's where I get most of my news now that I'm not actively reading Reddit all the time. So let's see. Bun 1.0 has released. If you don't know about Bun, it's actually a really cool project. It doesn't have anything to do with Rust, but it's basically a new JavaScript runtime. So like what, Bun.js? It's a JavaScript runtime that is super fast. Basically, think of it like a really pared down, just like the super basic, whatever you need for it. It actually does have something to do with Rust. It supports Rust plugins by default. what does that even mean? What does Rust plugins mean? Can we see what that means here? You could write a Rust library and just call it? What? From, oh, so does it auto compile to WebAssembly and then work with that? That's a cool thing. They could talk about it in a 1.0 video. So, plugins. I was hoping it would be like just... Okay, so they have WASM there. Okay, fine, I'll search for it. So they have Rust FFI. So they have several things in here. Use the built-in Bun FFI module to efficiently call native libraries from JavaScript. It works with languages that support the C ABI. So Zig, Rust, C, C++, C Sharp, Nim, Kotlin, and etc. So, yeah, so sounds like basically you're allowed to pull in Rust code pretty easily. Just import that from Bun. Okay. Oh, I guess we could watch the video. I don't have, so one thing I don't have is sound set up from the Mac to the streaming PC. So you wouldn't be able to hear the video. I need to figure that out. Also, let's try. I did a bunch of things to OBS yesterday. So I got rid of, I basically looked at the logs, and anytime that there was any kind of error, I deleted stuff. So I got rid of alerts because there was a WebSocket error every once in a while. I got rid of, I'll have to like add those back in if, you know, once we figure things out. I basically went through and just nuked a bunch of stuff in OBS in the hope that the camera starts working again. So let's see. Cat cam. All right, so it's still up and running. It hasn't frozen yet. Nope, it immediately froze. Cool. It literally immediately froze. Nice. Log files. View current log. What happened? Error. Uncaught in promise. Error. Request failed with status code 500. Steam Parrot. Stream Parrot. Okay. So I removed that source. So that's not even on this scene. I wonder, okay. I wonder if I need to go and remove that from everywhere else. I mean, I can't imagine it shouldn't cause problems with this, but I have no idea. The other thing I'm thinking about for like the camera and then also potentially with the microphone is I'm wondering if my USB, I reset things up to have a better, like I changed the desk. So I changed where everything was in USB hub or ports on the computer. I'm wondering if I'm overloading the bus and that's what's causing it. I've heard that in Windows, they automatically set some suspend on like power stuff for USB. So like even if you're actively using it, it might like decide, oh yeah, you're totally not using that, and just like lower the power to it, which would cause problems. So that could be it too. I went and looked for power settings for USB and could not find them, like at all. So Windows 11, cool, lovely. So I'm not sure about that. I might later today try rearranging plugs and then spreading them out across all the USB. Maybe like putting some on the front too, just to see whether, which is not going to be great for cable. I'm gonna have to really make horrible cable decisions for this. And then that will just hopefully work. If it starts working, then we know that that's the problem. Maybe I need to buy another USB, like PCI, port or something. But anyways, that's bygones. There, you can look at Zilby sleeping, super cute. Tristan, hello. You think you can disable that in a control panel? So I looked for it in control panel and I couldn't find the power settings for USB. Like it just wasn't there, which was super odd. Right now I was also wondering if like maybe like swap or something is going weird, but I'm not barely using any memory or CPU on the system. So, I don't know about that. Yeah, but like I couldn't find the power USB. Like it just wasn't there, which looking online is apparently can happen if you have certain configurations set up. I don't know how to update that. Zilby. Okay, I accidentally moved this ball. Do you want this? And it immediately froze again. Wow, it's like immediately freezing every. Okay, if I keep the properties open, does it not freeze then? Maybe that'll be better. Nope. It freezes there too. All right. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Yeah, so I'm not seeing any other errors in the logs since then. So it's whatever's happening with the camera is not actually an error caused inside FOBS. So that's fun. All right. I was hoping that I could find this documentation in here without the video. If you want to track when a typed array is no longer in use from C or FFI, you can pass a callback. Okay, so that was something about, yeah, from Rust. Oh, memory management, you could do stuff from Rust. You can pretty much just call a library function for free. You don't think they're sandboxing with WASM. Ah, okay. So they're doing something to make that work. Well, that's cool. So sometime we'll have to play around with that. Okay, here it is. FFI with Rust. So in Rust, we have this file. So they have the add.rs, which they do want you to compile, and they're showing you instructions with Rusty directly. They do have a okay, you have to do no mangle, pub extern C, and then you can create the function, and it does exactly what you expect it to. So you do have to, it sounds like, make the function available. Now, the following FFI types are supported. So can I actually send more than a number over? Because normally in WASM or Rust to JavaScript, that's kind of like the big deal. It's like, okay, it works, it's really easy, and all you have access to are integers, or at least numbers of some kind. And that means that just means that you need to use like the big WASM libraries to actually do anything useful. So they don't really have documentation of that there. So I'll watch the video later. So that's pretty cool. Let's see, what else do we have? Bun is using Zig under the hood, which is super interesting and fun. Zig is that new language that also has memory safety, competitor to Rust, but we're in an infinite game when it comes to like languages. So it's not about like defeating other languages. It's about surviving as long as you can. So it's more of, yeah, we can all survive together, right? And then also, okay, so stacking, you basically said there's a JavaScript core runtime. There's JavaScript language. There's a server-side JavaScript language that you can actually run on Macs, hidden inside of system, that you could actually call and do fun stuff with. Is that the same? That's the same. JavaScript core is what Safari uses behind the scenes, right? For its core JavaScript runtime. So I would imagine it has the same fun that Safari does. Okay. Sorry, I have to deactivate and reactivate Zilby again. He's even cuter now. Although he does have the ball in front of him. I mean, sorry? Let me try this right now before we get too far in. I'm gonna unplug this camera from the back of the computer and I'll try to plug it into the front. Let's see if we can get ZilbyCam working a little bit better. Oh, I need the extension. All right, so generally speaking, the way that in the computers work, but I'm not like a really big hardware person. The the buses for USB on computers are separated by like the PCI cards they're in, um, and usually also by the types, like 2 and 3 are separated, and then front and back are definitely separated. So if I run this on the front and it's still freezing, it has nothing to do with overloading the USB bus. Okay, so that's replugged in. I liked how that just stayed up there while the camera was completely unplugged. Oh no, you got interested by. All right. Cat. What? Zippy, wanna come here? No? Okay. Well, it's not crashed immediately, so maybe it is the who's that? All right, here. We'll let you watch Floor Cat. Now I have cables all around my feet. That's cool. All right. So where is this? I wonder if I can copy into it. So let's see if I do. If you run this is where the JSE is. I run you. You don't even let me do that. Just. Oh wait, is it a REPL? Interesting. Okay, so it's actually something else that's running. Ooh, that's interesting. Okay. Also, Sylvie, you jump back up here. I probably have to create a file. For some reason, Apple picked debug instead of console.log. It's the only thing they didn't keep the same. Oh, right. Console.log isn't an... Actually, isn't it part of the JavaScript, the ECMAScript spec now? Bun must be doing glue under the hood to change it to console.log. Yeah, that would make sense. Okay, so this would have to be, what, debug.log? And so then we want to do our debug.log is not a function. Oh, JSE is from like 2010, way before the standard. I thought the standard was a decent amount of time ago, but okay. So it doesn't like, is it not, is it just debug? Or is it like debug that? Yeah, that's it. Okay. So yeah, it's a cool way if you ever want to run some JavaScript and not use Node for whatever reason. This is an option. I believe you could also install like other runtimes if you ever want to install them. You can install SpiderMonkey, which is Mozilla's version of JavaScript, which was they've been using before Node too. There isn't Chakra Core. That's something available on Windows somewhere. That's something Microsoft has been using as a JavaScript runtime for a while now. So a bunch of systems have it. Cool. Okay, so the camera seems to be working. So maybe it is just the ports being overblown. It's not software. It's hardware. Oh, look, you can see me in the background. JSE never took off because it was Windows only, and before Node, you kind of got laughed out of a job when you said you were a JavaScript developer. That was true. It's like, I do web stuff. It's like, oh, what do you do? It's like, I build tables. I build tables in HTML. Mac OS, yeah. All right, so we have all that. That's good. Let's see where we're going. Record video for axum path. Right, we want to try recording that again. This time without Zilby yelling at me, many times. And maybe this time it'll work. Maybe this time he will not. He will cooperate. I also wonder, so I ordered a cable for the microphone. It should be arriving today. So on Monday, I'll try the cable to the back of the computer, but if that doesn't work, I'll try it to the front. And if that works, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do about that, but at least gives me some information to try out. So let's go ahead and get set up for a lesson. So I guess we'll leave you open here. I already have something open for that, don't I? Oh, but we need to clean it up. For axum path, I do not need Serde. Everything else is fine. Okay, everything in the library should be fine. Main should be fine. Okay, we want to get rid of cats that are S and remove you. Oh, I don't need to do that. I already had this one down here. Okay, so remove that. You should be happy now. Everything should be set up the way we want it to. Let's open up VS Code. what else do I have open over here? You're over there. You go that window. You go to that window. Okay, just you here. We have you set up. Everything's happy about you. We can cargo watch. We can cargo watch this. Oh, that's not what we want. We don't want a warning. Axum path. Oh, routing get. Does this feel bigger than it was previously? I feel like this is slightly bigger. Yeah, I think this is the normal zoom level that we want. Okay, we've got that. Thunder client. We don't need you. Let's just do a new request. Okay, we'll get that 404 not found. Okay, so we've got you. You're happy. You're happy. For Helix, I've got. Let's bring up the plan. All right. By the end of the lesson, you will be able to describe the segments of a URL, describe what path variables are, extract path variables, and a route handler. All right, let's see if we can do this before Zilby wakes up and decides he wants to play. So turn off Zilby cam. Turn off desktop audio. Okay, everything should be turned off that could impact the video. Let me turn that on for timers. So enable you. All right. And then I don't know. I don't think I have anything else to prepare for. We It's pretty early, so we'll see whether or not I've woken up enough to actually do the recording and not have any problems. So let's see how it goes. All right, here we go. In this lesson, we're going to talk about path variables and how to extract them and get access to them in our route handlers. But before we talk about necessarily path variables, let's talk about the path, the path itself and what I mean by path variables. If you're coming from another backend framework lesson, you probably know exactly what this means, because this is a fairly common thing that we need to do in backend programming. But if you're new to a web server development, or at least creating routers, then this is going to be something to pay attention to. So here you are. We're in a basic Axum application. We don't have any route set up. we just have our logging. So let's say we wanted to create up some routes for, I don't know, like a cat food dispenser. This might look something like this, where we have a route. We want to say something like cats, or rather maybe the dispensers themselves. So dispensers, um, and we want like the ID of the dispensers. That'd be like, okay, well, we want to create a route for dispenser number 1, and um, then we want to send that to be like, I don't know, a post to, create some food or do something with that. So a post to maybe like a dispense cat food. That function doesn't exist right now, but that's okay. That doesn't really matter. Okay, well, this is great if we have one dispenser, but what happens when we have two dispensers? Well, does that mean I now have to do something like, okay, repeat that? Now we have a second route. We're going to do dispense cat food too, and then have another handler. Even if I, have maybe like a handler, like one handler you use for all of them, this still means I'm having to create multiple routes. I certainly don't want to maybe define like an array of, the number of dispensers that we have and then sort of dynamically created. We want to handle this by telling axum to just, you know what, let's just turn this into a variable and then just give me what that value is, which axum can do. In fact, every backend framework server that I've ever worked on can do this. The syntax here is using a colon. And the specific terminology we're going to use is capturing. And so each one of these things here is what we call a segment. So we want to capture the segment, like the second segment here, the one that has the ID. So to do that, we're just going to do colon ID. Now, in Rust here, where specifically Axum, it doesn't actually matter what I name this. I can name this whatever I want. When I extract it, we'll be extracting it by position rather than by name. If you're coming from other frameworks, you'll probably familiar to like the name is actually really important. So just a heads up. All right, let's go ahead and create this dispense cat food route handler. So I'm going to, in routes, we're going to create a new file. I'm going to call it, we'll just call it cats.rs. We will mod this. And we will, let's copy you. And just to make sure there's no errors, let's go ahead and use this so that way Rust is available that this is a route handler for us. All right, perfect. Now, to get access to that ID, we're going to use the path extractor. And this is very similar to the JSON extractor or any of the other extractors. It's a tuple struct that we can destructure inside of the signature of the function. So we'll use path. We do want to make sure it's coming from axum extract, that we can get the ID. And then the type of this is going to be path. And then we get a set. Well, what is the type that we expect that ID to be? Well, if it's an ID that's coming in like maybe a number, maybe that's going to be something like an I64. So let's just set that. And then we'll do a tracing debug at our dispenser has ID. Okay, so we'll save you. I'm not getting debug info here, so I forgot when I started to set the log. So we're going to do an export rust log equals debug, restart the server. And now, when I hit this, let me see. I want this to be on the left. There we go. New request. Let's hit you. And we can see here. Oh, I need to actually hit the right location. So this is what, dispensers. Route path. Dispensers, the ID. Let me just copy this. Go there. We'll change you to be like, I don't know, 42, let's say. And when I hit send, still went to, okay, here it is. Method, get URI dispensers 42. We got a 4 to 5. Oh, right, because I set that to be a post, didn't I? Let's do a post. There we go. Now we should have 200. I did save you, right? Method URI dispensers 42. Where is my log here? Incoming body is empty. Well, that's fine. We're not sending anything in. I am watching it. Let me make sure that all the files are saved. What is it? File save all? Oh, I don't remember save all in VS Code. I don't see any unsaved necessarily here. So when I, this is a post. This is to dispenser's ID. We are hitting to dispensers with the ID to the post. We are in my library. We are tracing subscriber in it. Okay. Well, I'll have to cancel that recording. It didn't work, but not necessarily because I couldn't talk. What did I do wrong? Why am I not getting that debug? Am I getting debug and it's too big? No. Okay. So it's there. Wait, I am getting a debug and I just didn't notice it. Haha. Okay. Cool. It was too big. So it was like that. Okay. Tracing. Or actually, this is probably VS Code. Come on, VS Code. I had VS Code as the window larger than the screen. So because of that, it was just going off and not wrapping. I had the dispenser ID there the entire time. That's fun. Fun. Okay, well, that was take one. That is getting deleted. And we shall try again. All right. Here we go. Oh, I need to undo all this stuff again now. So you can be over here. I wonder if we can start maybe with this up. This might be fine. Okay. Okay, so you're full size now. I can actually see everything in the terminal this time. Okay, let's try again. Take two. In this lesson, let's talk about routes and how we can extract meaningful information from them and use in our route handlers. Uh, Before we get into that, we probably need to talk a little bit about what makes up a path as part of a route. So let's go ahead and create a new route here that's going to represent, I don't know, let's say dispensing food for cats. So let's imagine that we are creating an API that's going to control whether or not a food dispenser gives some food to our cat. So we have a route. We want something like maybe dispensers, and then an idea for that. So it'd be like one is, the first dispenser. And then let's say we would then do something like dispense. And we want this to be maybe a post request because we're causing something to happen. We want to change the state. And so I want that to be a post. And then I already have a function for this. So let's go ahead and bring that in. So I want to use cats, dispense cat food. Now this doesn't really do anything yet, but we'll get there. So dispense cat food. All right, let's take a look at this route. So, or specifically the path here. So we have dispensers, one dispense. Okay, great. The problem is, what if we have more than one dispenser? We certainly don't want to do something like have, multiple of these dispenser routes where we say, okay, well, you're 2, you're 3, you're 4, and then even if they all go to the same route handler to sort of reuse that code, this isn't that great. What if we just continuously add more dispensers in? This is, we don't want to have to come in and redeploy the entire server every time we make that change. We want to set up dynamic routing. So every time, whatever this number is, we just capture that into a variable, and then we can use that later, which is something that axum allows us to do. Let's go ahead and delete all of these. So each of these words between the slashes are segments. And that's actually part of the URL pathing standard. What's not necessarily part of a standard is the word you use to sort of extract the data from it. I really like Axum's use of the word capture, but I've also seen several other words being used. But we're going to use capture here. So I want to capture this segment. So we're going to do that with a colon and then any word. And the word that we use, and we'll see this later in a video, doesn't matter. It can be anything we want, as long as it's a colon and then an ID. Be aware that this is pattern matching here. If I attempt to have another route that is similar, but I want it to be something like, I don't know, test like the dispense, like maybe you don't actually dispense, you just want to test it. The problem is Axum won't know the difference between this test and this ID, and that's going to cause issues later. So be careful when we're using these captures. Let's go ahead and delete that. All right, so I have this ID here. Let's go ahead and I'm going to open up our cats folder. Let's open up below this. We can see both the code. Now, if I want to capture this ID specifically, and I want to use, let's open up Thunder Client, and we'll do a new request, where it's going to be a post request to localhost 3000 dispensers. Yeah, we'll say 42. Put this over to the right here. So right now I get we're getting dispensers dispense. Let's make sure we're going to the right one. Dispensers ID will change this to be 42. We're getting a 200 OK, but nothing's happening. We're not actually getting this data. So over here in our route handler, I am going to use the path extractor. The path extractor, which comes from axum extract, is a tuple struct. So we can destructure into a variable directly in the signature of the route handler. So I want to just grab the ID, and then we just give it the type. So it's going to be a path. And then the type here, well, I have a number, so it could be any number type that 42 is going to be fine with. Let's imagine that we have potentially a huge number of these. Let's go with an I-64. So if I hit save, let's also, to make sure that we know what this is, I'm going to go ahead and tracing debug this out. And we're going to say dispense cat food for dispenser ID. Okay, so if I hit save there, and we rerun this this request, here it is: dispense cat food for dispenser 42. If I change this to, let's say, 43, now we see, okay, so it changed. So now this one route handler can handle any number of dispensers as long as it fits within that I-64. So we're good to go there. What happens though if we want more path IDs, more segments to capture inside of a single route? So if we come back up here, let's say we want to dispense for dispenser ID, but we want to dispense for a specific cat. Let's say, or maybe like we have a specific bay. Let's imagine that our dispensers are actually like, have 4 different trays that they could do. Well, again, I don't want to do something like 1, 2, 3, 4. We would probably want something like, tray ID or something like that. Now, again, the name of this doesn't really matter for us. We have to, the position though does. So this is the only change I have to make in the route file. Over here, we're going to switch to a tuple type. So in our path, we're going to say we have a tuple. The first one here, this is an I-64. Let's imagine though that this tray ID is actually not a number, maybe it's a string. So we'll say you're a string, and then we can destructure you here. So it's basically a double destructure at this point in time. We have the ID on the left, and then we have whatever this tray ID is. So let's do tray ID. Okay, so dispense cat food for, out of tray ID for dispenser ID. Okay, so if I hit save for this, we do have to update you. So we're going to go dispense, and then I want, let's do it as an actual string. So we'll do, maybe we'll pretend this is like a UUID. So some long string there. We hit send, and Here we go. Dispense cat food out of tray, big long string for dispenser 43. And that's how we can capture segments into variables and then use them dynamically in the route handlers for whatever we need to use them. Even if we're just sort of logging that out and sending it off, we have access to them now. Something to be aware of. The path can go in any order inside of the route handler signature. But if you have something that's extracting the body, like let's say a JSON extractor, that must go last. The path isn't really extracting from the body, so it doesn't matter. The JSON is. So just a heads up, if you run into any kind of weird errors that are happening, check to make sure that anything extracting the body is the last item in the signature. All right, that's it for this lesson. Hopefully this has been helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hello, Coding Garden fan. How you doing today? That was smooth. It was the third try. It was the third try. So it was, generally speaking, I get better the more tries I do. All right, I can turn off the recording video never triggered. Oh, of course, right then it tried. Yeah, yesterday at the end of the stream was the first try, and that failed because Zilby. Is that still on? The camera's still working? Perfect. That failed because Zilby decided that he really wanted attention. So that was fun. Says Raz Dilan. I don't know if I pronounced your name correctly, but hello. How are you doing today? What am I building? I am building a course for Axum in Rust. So I'm both writing articles, sort of like blog style lesson articles for a specific topic, and then recording a video for it. I don't think Axum is a framework. Yeah, so Axum is a web framework in Rust. Are you familiar with Rust? I guess like Axum is a framework very similar to, like, think of it like Express with Node.js. It's a little bit more bare bones than something like ActixWeb. It's definitely more bare bones than Rocket. It basically gives you a router. It gives you middleware, like it's a framework, so it gives you the ability to define middleware, router. It's based upon Tower, so any Tower middleware you want to use just works. You don't have to do anything for it whatsoever. It's also written by the same people who write Tokyo. So pretty much anything in the Tokyo ecosystem just works for this too, which is really nice. It basically means you can do async await code and not have to know anything about async await, which is great. All right. So, we got that. Oh, I need to rename that recording before I forget. That is Axum. Now, am I logged into... I want to see if I'm logged into YouTube. I am not logged into YouTube. And I have multi-factor set up, so I don't want to have to deal with that right now. So I wanted to test this thing, but I'll do that later to sort of see how that works. Because if the YouTube embed code just works in this markdown, that would be great. But as our researcher showed the other day, most likely we have to use this style, which kind of sucks. All right, so you're all good. Let's quit out of view. AirTrack, hello. I cannot read that. So I would request English. Translate says, yeah, I got it. You're broadcasting normally. Yeah. Also, hello. Okay. What do I want to do here? Oh, I wanted to see core, let's see, code, builds, of course, articles, untracked files. We have to add. So we wrote article for axum path. Okay, so I can push that up. That's all good. Make sure. Okay, so I'm all up to date there. I can now do a set description. We are good for you. Oh, I'm going to quit out of that. Which means there, that now shows up. We are done with that. We can head out of playgrounds. Or we can head out to playgrounds. Okay, so we're good for all of these. All right, the next article. Let's take a look at I have so many just sort of like unnecessary stuff in here. All right. Okay, so route handler can take in path variables. So I can remove the border from that because we're done working on that now. Oh, and we can mark that's done there and videos recorded. Query variables. Okay, so that could be next. So technically it's query parameters. Parameters. And then after that would be record the video. Oh, I forgot to turn music back on. I can do that really quickly. There we go with that. All right. I think we're good to go there. All right. Let's see. I need to actually create that as a file, don't I? So it's touch. This is axum query params. Nice to actually tell it what kind of file this is. All right, so query parameters, or I guess we'll just call this axum query parameters. So right, we'll have the video. I don't know what style this is going to be, so I won't worry about that too much. I guess we can go grab the other one. So path, it's going to be one of these two. What? Did I not copy that? There you go. Okay. All right. So then your objectives. All right. We could try this with the axum temp or with the cargo temp. Let's see, cargo temp. You remember everything to install, so it's cargo add. Okay. Cargo add. Okay, so I think it's all of these. So cargo temp for that. Oh, right, they have a special thing for the features. Oh, right. Oh, they don't really have help with that. Oh, that's too bad. I'd have to go take a look at the crates page. All right, well, then let's just use this in playgrounds then. I think that's gonna be easier. All right, so this is gonna be. Make sure we got the latest. No new versions of Rust updated. So that's good. Cargo new. This is gonna be axum query params. Okay, so we got all of those. We can drop into Helix for you. Sylvie constantly wants to like not face the camera. But so far the camera's been happy, which makes me happy. So it's been the camera has been freezing a lot, so I'm trying to keep it up as long as possible on this stream. and so far it's been good. Okay, so continuing on. We have you set up here, so I guess we'll start writing those. Let's cd into axum query params. All right, we'll touch live.rat. Oh wait, we need to be in source. We need to take a route. And mod.rs, and I think we can take it from there. Do I have... I don't. Okay, so let's do a port rest log equals debug, and we'll do a cargo watch. I'll let do that do its thing. All right, got our hello world, which is not really all that helpful yet, but we'll get there. I can't do this yet because, okay, insert mod routes. There, that should now give me you. This is tower HTTP. Trace layer new for HTTP. Okay, so that's good there. Oh, it did put that mod into the correct place, so I'm happy about that. Let's do a wait a second. What did I do wrong? Jason subscriber. Normally has the format there too. Format in it. Right. Okay. What am I doing? I need to be in the function. That's my that's the next problem. Okay. New, we'll do a self. Oh, you know what I could do? We could do that tracing subscriber in it here, can't we? There we go. This is what I wanted. Format net there. That brain fog is real. I know. That morning brain fog. Like last night, I don't know what happened. It's just like not the normal quality of sleep that I've been getting recently, which is not great. I even tried to go to sleep at the normal time. It's not like I was up super late. There has been a lot of construction around here, though, recently. So that's not fun. And I do wonder, like, I have to keep the windows closed all day because they're replacing the roads. And I don't know, like, that smell from the like creating of the concrete or the pavement is horrible. I have no idea what it's doing to me. You're async. So you're an async function run. You love me the smell of asphalt. I know. It doesn't even wake me up. It just smells horrible. It smells like I don't want to be here. At least it's better than smoke. It's better than like the entire country being on fire. Let's see. What do I want to do? I want to return a result. So pub async function run, we take in self. I want to return a result. You're not giving me all the results that I'm used to. Did I not pull in error? Oh, I totally have error. Okay, so we're gonna do that. Then all right. Okay, so async function run. I want to we actually already started tracing subscriber, so I just need to get the router. We need to get the address, which I've been rewriting this so like I can just do it super easily first try every time. And the socket address, it's like this is the one that I have the most trouble remembering, is the socket address from the list I've got now. Let's see. So router port address. Then I want to. What was the last thing? It's Oh, I think then we just do the thing, right? It's bind. Then we serve the router in router. Yeah, it's a make service. So I kind of do an into make service. Oh, there it is. I can do an into make service. Question mark you. Oh, we have to await you first. No, not that. We wait and then question mark you. Okay, great. Perfect. You're happy now. Okay, so then we go to main. And all right, what are we doing here? We are running. Okay, so we want to create a new server so that our server equals server new. Oh, we need to use the Tokyo main. Okay, so server new, then I want to match server.run wait. You can fill match arms this time? It never could fill match the arms before. Okay, this is our print line. Server exited successfully. Okay. That's everything. You are not happy. Thread remain panicked at error binding. Address already in use. Because I, kind of need to turn that off. Doing a Control D gives you a terminal 130, which is, does exit do that? No, it wasn't zombies. It was actually just, I left it alive. I just had to, take it out back and shoot it. There we go. Okay, so we're good there. And then let's also double check that we can get the tracing stuff working. So in run, I want to do a tracing debug server running on port. I do this every once in a while where I was like, okay, I accidentally rolled, like I hit the edge of W and I also grabbed a little bit of Q on that. And I didn't notice it by the time I hit enter. So that's always cool. All right, we have debug running there. Let's actually change this from an debug to an info. And okay. I don't necessarily see should I create I don't think I need to create a hello world from this. Let me create a hello world, like a template repository. Do I actually already have a template repository? Did I forget if I created one or not? I have axum API template. I may have already done this. So let's see. We have our cargo.toml. So we have axum error, Serde Tokyo, Tower HTTP, tracing subscriber. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, we do all the things. Okay, so basically it does all the things. So next time I want to try using cargo temp to pull from this. I'll just have to remember that this exists. All right, let's see. In the meantime, query parameters. Let's figure out what this is gonna look like. We want, what's our theme? We've been doing a lot of cat stuff. We've been doing cat stuff. We did game stuff. I mean, those sort of like are universal. Cats and games. We can do drinks like tea, coffee, water, something like that. Or you know what? Most of the time, and we had a discussion with this. When did we have the discussion? Was it yesterday on stream? We had a discussion about where you put stuff. You want a new cat just so you can name him Earl. Hopefully hopefully it's a gray cat, right? Because if it's like a white cat, that just looks weird, right? Let's say we can stay on the cats. Cats are fine. Everybody loves cats, right? Mistacking only does gray cats. It's all we ever had. It's strange, but you go with it. Interesting. I don't think I've never had a gray cat. I've had a white cat with black spots. And I've had Zilby here. We had another one which was a white cat was mostly white with like one black spot on its like forehead. And then like the Zilby's the first orange that I've had. But yeah, I'm happy with oranges. So I'd be happy to stay with them for a long time. I do also find that it's hilarious that we often, when talking about cat breeds, we'll just use the color of the cat as the, as describing like the temperament and like what they are. It's like, okay, what breed of cat do you have? It's like, I have an orange cat. I have a gray cat. You would never do that with a dog. It's like, what type of dog do you have? Well, it's a black with sort of like some brown and gray markings. Do you mean a German Shepherd? It's like, no. It's black with brown and gray markings, a little bit of orange in there. Some interesting like sort of splotches, but that's okay. They're so watered down you can't really go by the type. It does feel like that. So I was taking a photo of Zilby the other day, and we're cat sitting a friend's cat, and I was taking a photo of them too, and I was sort of comparing the photos back and forth because they're both super cute. Which, by the way, I put that other cat onto Discord if you ever want to take a look at it. And my phone showed me and said like, hey, this cat is a American, or it's a wire hair cat. Like, oh, interesting. So I went over and I looked at a photo of Zilby, and it's like cat. I'm like, thank you, machine learning algorithm. That is super helpful. Zilby is a cat. That's the breed. Okay, so let's create. No, stop. How do I get you to be, okay, get you to be smaller with that. Okay, you can stay over there. I want, new. How do I move? Oh, that's H, not N. You can go over here. All right, let's see. I want not course articles. Go to our playgrounds, and this is axum query params. So let's go into source routes. Maybe we'll call this cats again. So we want to get all of our cats. So maybe this time we're running an adoption. We're running an adoption center for cats. or maybe just for pets. Oh, this will be good. So we'll do touch pets. So we're running an adoption center for pets, and we're going to use query parameters to filter out if we want cats or dogs or bunnies or any other type of pet, how many we want. Okay, yeah, that's what we're going to do. So to show what query parameters are used for reals.
Si vous ne pouviez plus chanter, oh, je ne vivrai pas. Redoutez-vous la mort? Moins que la solitude. Priez-vous? Ah oui, parce que je crois.
Where did it put my... Oh, this is in live. This is not where I want to be. I was gonna say, like, where did it put my my mod? Use pets. All pets. Probably not that. I want to go here. All right, so we're gonna get okay, we're gonna get to /pets. We can do a get. No. Okay, so we want route. Pets. We want a get or get all pets. And you import. Okay, so you're happy there. And then query params. Okay. So I guess that first thing is describe what query params are, isn't it? We also really want what type of data is passed into query params. So describe what kind of data is best passed in using query params. All right, to create them, we're going to create a struct for this. It does need to be pub. We do need Serde. Do I have Serde? I do have Serde. Perfect. So we're going to have pub struct query params. Banzi, good morning. Hello. How are you doing today? Olivia, hello. How are you doing today? Super chill morning. Oh, that's always nice. You found it. You found it while I'm typing it. Well, would you look at that? You got an interview to work at Fox? Oh, congratulations on getting the interview. Good luck at it too. Olivia, you're in class right now. Well, I suppose that works. What's the class for? Also, what's the job for, Banzi? Choctaw. I don't know if I'm not familiar with that. Hopefully it'll be your last estet roll. And then, well, I mean, are you hoping that because it's going to be your, like, it's a mobile estet for video streaming? Interesting. Well, I mean, that does seem right up Fox's alley. So, oh, you want to move into machine learning? Interesting. Oh, it's a language. Okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with Choctaw, but interesting. Hopefully we're not. Hopefully you're not being distracted too much by the stream. But that's good. Also, well, I mean, do you think that you'll be able to move into machine learning at Fox if you were to get that job? Like maybe they would let you do that, and like you could be like an sort of like use that in whatever systems they're having you do. What am I making? We're creating a course on Axum, a backend framework in Rust. And the specific lesson that we're working on is query parameters for routes. You wish, but now you want to use their name to get into a good startup with machine learning. Oh yeah, I mean, I would, Fox is it's a small company. People probably have heard of it in a few different places. So probably could help. Probably could help. I want to look up Choctaw. What does it tell me? It's a member of North American people now living mainly in Mississippi, or the Muskogean language of the Choctaw, closely related to Chickasaw. I would assume that it's that latter one. Where's Muskogean? Where is that? My geography isn't that great. He didn't say Fox News. It could be the other Fox, but they're still pretty big. I mean, the other Fox is essentially Disney now. So that is absolutely huge. Oh, it's in Oklahoma. Okay. Is that Native American? Okay, awesome. Yeah, I've lived most of my life either here in Colorado or on the West Coast. So, Oregon, California, and there's some tribes over there, but I'm not familiar with the what was it? I already forgot the name, and I don't want to butcher it. So, let me see. It was not translate. I'm gonna look up. It was Muskogean. So are you learning the language? That sounds interesting and fun. But I am terrible at spoken languages. I am very bad at learning those. So it's more of like, it's a fun, interesting idea for me, but every time I try, it ends with pain for me. Also, as a fun note, you can read or write in English. Oh wait, so is it an English course from Choctaw, or is it learning Choctaw from English? Uh, Baseline Fox, not one of the sub Fox enterprises. Okay. Is that the Fox that was purchased? Fox Corporation. Is that the one that was purchased by Disney? Oh, okay. You could barely read or write English. So it's to English from Choctaw. Well, I mean, I'm able to understand what you're writing. So your English is good for that. And if you're able to understand what I'm saying and what's going on in chat, that's good. And practice is where it's at. It's just repetition. But Banzi, that sounds really good with to get that. No, it is to Choctaw. Okay. All right. So you're learning. All right. You're basically okay. You're learning Choctaw, and you're working on English. Sounds good. Also, fun fact, on when we adopted or when we rescued Zilby, in the folder that we got for Zilby, there was like a transfer document that he had. Apparently, he is from Oklahoma. And at some point in time when he was super young, he was loaded up into a truck and shipped over to Denver. I don't know why. It just sort of mentioned that. I thought it was very interesting. All right. Well-traveled cat, definitely. Although he hasn't really left since then, so he's really only like traveled one state. Probably young enough they can't remember it, but I wonder if he's like traumatized for traveling because of it. That is more than most. That is true. I do remember shelters transfer animals to higher populated areas in hopes for better chance of adoption. That's true too. I've heard about that. And I saw a video of Jackson Galaxies where he moved. It was either I think they moved cats from like LA to Boulder, or it was the other way around, from Boulder to LA. But that was a long trip. You've been to every state on the south side? That is extremely well traveled. Your local shelters get animals from Louisiana all the time. I don't go to shelters often, so I don't really get a chance to sort of like check out all the locations that they're coming from. I do know that they rotate around. So like there's a bunch of shelters in the area that will, like, they'll keep the cat for like a few months or at least like half a year or so, and then they'll get into a truck and then they'll go to another shelter and sort of move around constantly. And it's one of the reasons why if you do give up your cat, but then later on you change your mind and you want to get the cat back, it could be really hard to find because they're just in the system somewhere and you have no idea where. And they don't always keep track of now where the cat goes. Like they'll often keep track of like one place, so it might, like, all of them are going to have different sort of ID systems for it. There's no standard for like tracking a pet in the adoption system, so it kind of sucks. All right, queer params. We are pretending to be a pet store, a pet adoption agency. What are the things we want to do with a pet adoption agency? Oh, why Rust? I mean, I guess a couple different reasons. Personally, I really like Rust. I started with Rust because it's different than what I do as a day job. I've been doing JavaScript stuff for a long time. The other reason is from like a more business perspective reason for like doing courses with Rust. It's because I'm betting on it continuing to increase in popularity and in demand. So therefore, people wanting to learn Rust, and therefore me being one of the early course providers for it, as opposed to waiting until it's already here and then switching over to it. So that's my sort of 1-2 reasons on Rust. Also, I find that it's just fun. I like programming in Rust. JavaScript pays well because you're selling your soul. I mean, you would totally be knowing if you're selling your soul if like it was typed, but you have no clue until it's too late. You like the MVim? Oh, thanks. This technically is an editor called Helix. Helix is very similar to NVim, but it's rewritten in Rust. So it's there's some subtle differences to it. Every once in a while you'll see me like sort of screw up some commands. Sometimes it's because I'm like using the NVim command for it as opposed to the Helix command, which is always fun. Therefore, it's better. Rewritten in Rust doesn't make it better by default, but we can claim that it is. Do you leave with Q? Yes. So I can still leave with Q like that, and we can still save with W. Absolutely. But for some like strange stuff, if I want to select the entire line, that is X. Uncle Scientist, hello. How are you doing today? How's the library going? And I saw that you were working on channels. You tried Helix for a while, but wasn't a fan of the move select situation. Yeah, I can totally see. They did change that up a little bit. You just recently had a major IT event in Brazil called Rinha de Backend. Is that like even like close to correctly pronounced? Where people are competing to get the best performance on a backend service. Performance coding is fun. I'm not great at it. I've never worked in a company where I've needed to do extreme performance tweaking. Oftentimes I'm working more for startups, and for that one, you're really focused on getting users that are willing to pay you. And at that point, it's like, okay, we have 25 users. It's okay, we can handle the load. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Now I have had to I've had to do some performance tweaking because like one time I came into a company and the entire server was crashing and halting because they decided to fix a performance problem with a queue. They chose the wrong kind of queue and they made everything worse, like really worse. Rust got top 1. I can see that. How do I spell Helix? Exactly like that. So, exactly the way you spelled it there. Library is going well. Awesome. How are you enjoying channels? Because I saw you were starting to jump into them. And which channel are you using? Are you using Crossbeam or something else? Or I guess like just native channels. Right. We're also working on this. So this is for a pet store. We want like I want to use, what's a better word than type of pet? Is there a better word for type, like between if you're choosing a cat or a dog? Oh, it could be species. species, then this would be an enum. Let's do query param species. We have like dog, cat, bunny, lizard. Is lizards ever adopted out? I don't know. They are here. Let's also put in debug and clone just because. The stack was Rust, ActixWeb, Tokyo, Postgres, Deadpool Postgres, Serde, Redis, Deadpool Redis, Deadq, and Nginx. That makes sense. ActixWeb is very fast. I'm surprised. I guess they didn't really need to go with like even a super fast database, because they might have been able to get away with doing something like, Redis, or like not using Postgres, unless they had to use some kind of like actual disk based database for the requirements. MPSC channels are all you need right now, trying to avoid pulling in more dependencies than absolutely necessary. But that's what we do as developers. We just pull in infinite dependencies to fill up our disk drives. Archification, archification or archification. Hello, how are you doing today? A struct is a type that contains other types. Can a species contain other species? I mean, if we want to get very pedantic, I don't know if that's the right word for it. It feels like it is. But like, sure, we have gut bacteria. So yeah, totally. We contain other species, sometimes unwillingly. So we want yeah, the bacteria makes sense. We're not adopting out the bacteria, so we don't need to worry about that. And we don't want to advertise that they may be sick, so we're not going to add viruses in here too. All right, so we have query params. So we have the species. How many, like, what other things do we want to care about? Maybe we want the limit. So how many to get back? So this will be like a U8. We want a limit. Oh, a start. What's the there's a better name for this. I've seen it used. I don't think it's part of a standard, but skip. You skip for a U8. Actually, a limit might be a U8. A skip probably would be a U32, wouldn't it be? Wouldn't it be? Wouldn't it? Because we have potentially a lot of these. The challenge was to see who had the better performance with serialization and deserialization of a CRUD without the update and delete, while under severe load testing stress and with the limit of 1.5 CPU and 3 gigs of RAM. Yeah, so I can see the servers that are based on Rust, C, C++, those without garbage collectors are going to do extremely well with that. The ones with garbage collectors can probably do okay as long as they have enough memory, which it looks like they don't, to sort of shunt that off and just like, oh yeah, just hold on memory and just do the garbage collection later. Instead of using a database, why not have the program create a RAM disk and work with flat files there? Then changes can be committed every hour or during shutdown, for example. That's actually pretty popular. I've seen that, or I've read about that at some different places that have extreme loads. But if it's a competition and you want everybody to have like the same sort of like setup, having something that goes to disk could be a way of saying, look, we're not we're checking everything else, everything other than this. And hopefully everybody has the same speed disk, because otherwise that would be unfair. Silpy, are you thinking of going upstairs? All right, so let's see. We have species, limit, skip. We can also do a filter. And let's do like a search. We'll do a search. And then this will be a string. Okay, so this feels like the appropriate metadata that you might be using to search through. And you want these in query parameters because it doesn't actually have to do with the query itself. This allows you to do a GET request for pulling stuff in. You don't have to do something like a POST to get things. Oh, you didn't make it into a ranking? Oh, that's too bad. What stack did you try? Let's see. Then we're going to do a query. So query, query, and your type is going to be the query params. Okay. And then we can maybe print this out so we can debug. It might be easier. We'll do a tracing debug. Tracing debug of query, which I have to do this time. Only the top 100 got prizes, and you were 138. Oh. Out of how many? How many total were in there? Because that already feels like a lot of competition. All right, what are you upset about? Doesn't implement display. Oh, we have to do. Okay, so how do I make that go away? I don't know how to make that go away so I can see what my cursor is doing. Unless I like make this big. So that. 400 people. Well, that's pretty good. So you're just a little bit above the quarter mark, but that's not bad at all. And you learned a lot? I bet. I mean, it sounds like a really fun sort of experience. And people recorded videos of their implementations. Oh, that's always nice, because then you can go and take a look at that. All right, we are using Insomnia now. All right, let's go ahead and put this on full screen. Insomnia can, what was that? A new version of Insomnia. Okay, I'll restart. Okay, so here we go. Where's my mouse? There you are. we want to do a get request to 3000. We want to go to pets. We want to do query params. You have all these query params to put in. I guess we should go take a look at what they are again. So that we have a species. You are a, say we're looking for a cat. We want, give us a limit of 10. I want to skip 0, so begin from the beginning. And then search nothing for right now. So if I send that, okay, so request, we actually can see the query parameter sent in here, and then here's our query param, species cat, limit 10, skip 0. Oh, Zilby's gone. Skip 0's search is then just an empty string. Okay, great. But what if I didn't want to leave one of these things in? What if I don't care about skip? I want all of these to be optional because if I don't use any of them, I get everything. We get like cats mixed with dogs. We get the default limit of whatever that is. And we start from the beginning. So I want to skip you, for example. Yeah, let's just do that. We're looking for cats and give us a limit of 10. But that gives us a 400 bad request. So it makes more sense that these are now options. And now I've set those to be options. I could resend this. You're happy. And now this shows, okay, so we got some cat, limit of some 10. We have no skip and no search. So whatever the default is going to be for that. Okay, so why? Wait, why am I? Why is this window only this big? That doesn't seem right. Okay, that's better. Describe what kind of data is best passed in using query parameters. Handle. Ooh. So how do I want about that is you want to be able to handle optional. Okay, so I want to be able to handle this would be like allow we want allow defaults for the query parameters. So allow the users of the API to, how would I want it to say this? This would be set defaults, use defaults, use it. Use a default value for a route param. So something like that would then come in here. We say, okay, I want this query. Let's say skip is that option. So I'm gonna do something like skip equals query dot skip dot unwrap or I guess it wouldn't be unwrap or else. It would be unwrap or like 10. So that's what the default there would be. Okay, so use default value for route param. What else do we care about with this? I guess also I just have to we should put in just like actually capture capture route params in a route handler. Use a default value for a route param, and I guess that's what it would be. Okay, let's jump into it. So we have something like this. So all right. Can Rust do low-level memory control? Memory control. Can Rust do low-level memory control? I mean, yes. What type of memory control are we talking about? I mean, the answer is most certainly yes. And like, I can't. There might be some things that Rust won't allow you to do. You can generally do pretty much everything with some unsafe code. Yeah, definitely check out Phil Opperman's Rust operating system blog. Yeah, let's go find that. Personally, we've done some sort of trickery or messing around with low-level memory stuff. Oh, like C and C++? Absolutely yes. So Rust. Oh, thank you, Uncle Scientist, for that link. So you can choose when things are dereferenced with the star character, such as star thing, and you can even borrow, star and then dereference if you want, dereference star thing. You can also use inline ASM within Rust if you want. Yeah. And you can, if you're willing to do a little bit of unsafe code, you can actually just get locations of memory and just start reading lines from it. There was a while back we were playing with some unsafe here on stream, and we were able to get some garbage out from RAM, which is, I mean, that's sort of like the hello world of unsafe programming. Is like, okay, can you at least, like, without crashing, can you just like get something that you're not supposed to get? And of course, the answer is yes. In Rust, you can. I think the key here is that Rust will say you need to wrap your code blocks that you're going to do that in unsafe, not because everything in there has to be unsafe. It's more of as a way to tell everybody else, look, shenanigans are happening inside of here. Pay attention. Be careful when reading and manipulating this code. Monsters you're going into the realm of monsters, and Rust is is going to help you the best it can, but you're still doing things that are dangerous. Let's see. So I guess this is like the walkthrough. All right, so or maybe we'll just do this as like getting query params. Using query params. Rust seems like it would be good for forensics. I'm more confident that it's safe and not doing unexpected things to the data. I've also found that unsafe blocks don't necessarily mean they're unsafe. If you're used to writing Rust and working with a borrow checker, you're probably already used to writing safer code too. Yeah, and I think a big misconception about unsafe in Rust is that the borrow checker sort of throws its hands and is like, okay, I'm gonna like, I'm putting up a blinder, whatever you're doing, I'm not running anymore. It's like, no, all of that stuff, all of the safety stuff is still happening in unsafe code. But there are methods that sort of like reach outside of it that you can do, but still like within the bounds of Rust being safe. And so like every time that you reach out and you use like an FFI function from like C, Rust can't like verify that C is doing things the way it wants to with the borrow checker. So therefore it's going to say, well, everything you're doing is unsafe. I can't trust a single thing you're doing. If you're writing an operating system in Rust, you have to use unsafe for some things. Yes, I would fully bet for stuff like that. All right. Using query params. So let's see. So we have to describe what, okay, maybe first we do that thing. What are query params? Params. Okay, query parameters are meta. Would it make sense for me to say like metadata? So like our I guess additional key value data sets, data pairs are key values that are optionally appended to a URL. URL as part of the request. Since they're part of the URL, in order to, recognize where the path of the request ends and the query params begin, a question mark character is used. So if you've ever seen a URL with that looks like, let's go find something. So if I just do a search for like, query params, Oh, you don't do that? I think that was more of Firefox being odd shenanigans. Okay. So if you've ever seen a URL that looks like that, so let's see. Maybe it's like not so. So let's line. Let's take a look at a DuckDuckGo search request. Let's take a look at a URL after running after submitting a DuckDuckGo search request. Found a GitHub page that uses the same avatar as the one in your Twitch, but the GitHub link at the bottom left of your Twitch page goes to a different GitHub. Are both accounts yours? The link to the code of conduct goes to the other account it found. So if you, yeah, probably. So I do have, well, okay. I have a single account on GitHub, but I also have an organization on GitHub. So the organization is this one. And then the account has that logo. Yep, so that's account and org. Yeah, those are both mine. I should probably update to put all that stuff in the org. Yeah, there's not really a great way to tell the difference between them at the beginning, is there? So it's like, just looking at this, like it shows up in the URL as the same position that a user does. It could be followed. It has a location. It has all the normal stuff. Interesting. Olivia redeemed changed music station. Sure. Let's let me see. Let me go find. Let's see. I'm using Chill Hop right now. So let's try. What's one of the other ones? We have Outer Tone is also apparently able to use on Twitch and YouTube. Try that. If you don't like this, let me know and I could try to find another one, or we can just turn it off. I think this is electronic. What does it say? This is just a, oh, this is just a single song. Okay, I can open up a playlist. Oh, electronic, there we go. Here we go, here's electronic. All right, let's see. So back to you. So we have career params there. Oh, we're coming back to here. Okay, so let's take a look at the URL after submitting a DuckDuckGo search request. So here we go with this. The query parameters for this are maybe like a list. So like T with the value of H underscore and then we have Q with the value of three okay, and then finally IA I mean that's just web. Okay, with the value of web. Okay. Note that they begin after the question mark, but oh wait. Okay, so match surround that. Okay. But after the first question mark, the first and only question mark, each key is each key value pair is separated by a ampersand. Okay, so those are what our query parameters. Any text. So any text can go into a URL parameter if it's like a non-normal or like unsafe. For some symbols, it's required to encode them. And what's the URL encode? What's the encoding type? URL encode type. UTF-8. Okay, so it needs to be UTF-8 encoded. And UTF-8. It's required to encode them in UTF-8. Luckily, Axios. What? Axum will automatically handle encoding and de-encoding. De-encoding. Deserializing. So deserializing from UTF-8 for you. So luckily, Axum will automatically handle deserializing from UTF for you. Like, for example, if you're creating like an email address or something. and you want to use the @ symbol. Is Rust similar to C or C++ in syntax? I haven't used C++ for C. I mean, in some ways, yes, but in many ways, no. So that being said, a lot of the differences in syntax are like the same type of differences that you get from one language to another. So like if you're going from like C to Python or C to JavaScript or C, to Java, you're going to have very similar sort of differences in syntax. But the general idea of programming remains the same across all of them. Logic is the same. You can still do loops. You can still do, you can still create like some kind of objects or containers to like store stuff. So like variables, you still have like memory tracking and other stuff. There's no garbage collector in Rust. So that's closer to C or C++ than like something like Java or Python. So like the general idea is similar. Okay. Only problem with the station is there's words. There's vocals. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. Okay, let's see. Electrical axum will handle deserializing from UTF for you. So let's see. Describe what type of data is best passed in using query parameters. Right. Okay. So that's the next thing. So, what data do we use with query params? Query params are best. I guess it's best to use metadata. It's best to use metadata in query parameters. That is data about the data. For example, if we were running a pet adoption agency and we wanted to get, we wanted a route to get all dogs, we wanted to route to get all pets, but allow the querier, the user, to filter by species, then we could still use a GET request and add a query parameter for a species. This is, in this case, the GET is for retrieving all pets, but the metadata is for adjusting, changing, filtering mutating. No, not mutating. We're not changing anything. For I don't know what the right word for this is. For adapting. I don't want to use the word mutate, so it's like I'm not mutating the query. For changing what the response, like for changing what the response contains. Okay, for changing what the response contains. Example for this might be, and then we'll do HCP host 1000. We'll get to pets. Do question mark. And then, okay, so question mark, we'll do species equals like cats. Or I guess like cat. In this case, calling pets with this query param set would result in the API returning a list of cats. Without the query param set, the API would return a mixture of cats, dogs, and any other type of pet that is available for adoption. Okay. So I think that is what data do we use with query parameters. I guess like other typical uses for query params include pagination, let's see, filtering or searching the results. Let's see. What else do we do? What else would we see with this? I often use it for like filtering, searching, pagination. I don't really know if I use it for very much else. I guess it could be both, right? It's like filtering, searching. Something like that. All right, great. And then we have capture route params and a route handler. So we want to actually do the thing now. Capturing route params. The only place we need to tell axum about route params is the route handler. Since everything is happening, since all the data is after, okay, so since the data is after the path, the router doesn't care about the route params or route params at all. So in the route handler, let's begin with, let's continue the example that we are creating an API for an adoption agency, a pet adoption agency. We're beginning with a blank route handler. Okay, so that would be basically this. But we're going to remove the query part. So it's there, and then we just have that. That's all we have. Get all pets. I guess what we could do is we could say get the pets from the database and use the get the pets from the database and return them. Did I save that? Yeah, I did that. I did save that correctly. Okay, so get the pets from the database and return them. Okay, so we have that. Our route, I guess we don't really care about the route then. Sheriff, hello. How are you doing today? You don't have a lot of money, but you want to back me. Is that possible? So if you don't have a lot of money and you want to like support me or support the channel, there are non-monetary ways of doing that. So like what I would suggest is like if you don't feel comfortable with any kind of like money, anything, that's fine. Just like watching is a way of supporting. Sharing the channel is a way of supporting. Like telling other people or like just saying like, hey, you might be interested in this. Like here's a link to this channel. Those are all non-monetary ways that are absolutely value. Can share the monetary way first. The only way that I have set up right now is through Twitch, which if I remember correctly, Twitch has set up where it's now subscriptions and bits are now used. They now work with local currency, if I remember correctly. Yeah, they're the only way that you can actually send me any kind of money. The course, so like I've turned on the test mode on for the course on my LMS, So even if you were to attempt to purchase something from there, it wouldn't work. Oh wow, Xanax. Oh, you sent big tips for streamers. Yeah, it can be really addictive. I try well, I turned off because of testing because I thought maybe it was breaking it, but it didn't. Um so yeah, bits or subscription are the only way to send money to me right now. On Twitch. And then eventually there'll be the ability to pay for a course, which is what then I would be able to say like, hey, you're gonna get value for this. So like that's what I'm really hoping for eventually to do it for. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So like if you do bits, that's just a one-time thing. Like one bit is 1 penny in US dollars for me, or US pennies for me. And then a subscription is, I think now it depends. I don't remember. Twitch sort of like mentioned that they're now doing it based upon currency. So I get like half of it. So, for example, if you're in the United States, it's $5 for a subscription, and then I would get $2.50 of that. If you have Twitch Prime, that gets you could do that for free once, and I still get $2.50 for that, like $2.50 for that. If you're in another country, they might be smaller or bigger. They'll take you really big of the sub, better bits. Take a really big of the sub for you are better bits. I don't know if it matters like right now. If like, okay, for example, the benefit that you get if you're a subscriber is you get to use the, let's see, have this, and where's my other one? You have that. You have these two emotes. I need more subscribers to get more emotes. But then I also need to figure out which emotes to do. So maybe like another picture of Zilby now that he's older. But yeah, so like I don't really necessarily think there is a good or bad way to sort of do that. It's subscription gets you out. Oh, also subscriptions will make sure you don't get advertisements. At least that's what Twitch claims. I've been subscribed to somebody else and I still got an advertisement. So I'm not really sure what was going on there. I'm guessing it was a bug. But yeah, once again, I don't like want anybody to give me money if you don't feel comfortable with it. And Sheriff, thank you so much for the subscription. Tier 1 subscription for 1 month. Awesome to have you here. Thank you. Sorry I turned off the alerts for it. I was concerned the alerts were breaking the camera, so I turned them off. And we've only added them in like recently, so you don't get the little sound thing. I'll probably turn them back on shortly. All right, so thank you again, Sheriff. Let's see. So, what was I doing? I am. It's 8:45. What do I think about tutorial hell? Are you talking about like you're taking lots of tutorials, like you're in tutorials, you're okay, you're taking lots of tutorials and you're doing that instead, like instead of actually making projects. It's super dangerous. Tutorial hell is a real thing. It's super dangerous to get into. It's very attractive. Oh, thank you so much, Sheriff, also for the 100 bits. Thank you for that too. Love all of you guys. Absolutely. Well, I'm really happy we have a good community here. We can all chat about all sorts of different things. But okay, Xanax. Tutorial hell is really easy to jump into, especially when we're beginning out with any technology or any language or anything else with that. We are the problem really stems from we don't have confidence in working a thing, so we use a tutorial to sort of learn how to do the thing. But tutorials sort of like teach us a lot, and our brains love learning things, and so it's like, ooh, we're learning stuff, and so that's fun. It's fun to learn stuff without actually having the danger of actually like proving that we didn't learn the stuff. What I do now to prevent tutorial hell for myself is I actually skip the tutorial. It's like, that's little lie. I still do the tutorial, but I don't start with a tutorial. I start with a project. So I come up with something I want to do, and then I just start trying to do it. So let's say it's Rust. I want to just start writing Rust. Okay. What do I need? I don't even know how to begin. Let's go find a tutorial to begin. But then as soon as I get what I need out of that, we're back to, the project, and we work on that. I rarely finish tutorials or books or anything else. Like, I think we went through the Rust book. That was a community thing. I don't think I've ever done that outside of the stream. Like, I think that every time I do a tutorial, it's to get to a specific thing that I'm doing in real world. And then you stop that and you continue on with your project, and then rewrite your project constantly, right? Because like, oh, I learned a new way to do that. Let me rewrite everything with the new information in there. Like it's someone else that I was working with one time had a really good way of describing it. The project is either a learning project or it's a get it done project. When you're doing a learning project, who cares if we rewrite it constantly? We want to rewrite it. We want to make sure that it's basically showing off the latest of what we know all the time. But if it's a get it done project, like we just want to get it done so it actually does the thing that we want to get it done, then if we learn something new, we don't always have time to go back and make it better. Otherwise, we'd be rewriting it forever. So anyways, that's my suggestion for that. Stacking, you were there. Artification, this is what works for me. I feel like having realistic goals can help you avoid tutorial help. The goal isn't to watch tutorials. The goal is to learn. And learning everything at the start is probably too hard. So find a goal like read a file and output a single line to console from that file. Celebrate succeeding at that and then upgrade it. Now add colors to the output or have it stream new lines to output when they're written to the file. Yes, that's a really good way. Oh, Stacking, you were there. You mean for the book. Okay, yeah. I remember you, Stacking. There was a few of us that were there for that. I started the streaming, that adventure we started on YouTube, and then we transferred over to Twitch. All right. And then also, artification. You cloned the BBECS project because you're going to add colors to some output. Then PR, because why not? Then you found integration test colors.rs, and you're already happy with how clean this is. I want to say, I looked at colors. I looked at some colors at some point in time. I don't think it was integration test colors. It was something else. But yeah, colors in the terminal are nice. By the way, you're learning Rust and Tori and having to do an application with it. Your stream working on it. Nice. Let's see. Am I? Here, I'll follow you. Yeah. So if you stream here, then if it's during a time that I actually can watch, I will. I do unfortunately don't get to watch very many streams these days. Just things are a little bit too hectic and busy during my days. This is like the morning time is like my Twitch slash like hangout with you all time and actually do something. Overall learning certain concepts can help you logic in any language. Learn what an if statement or while loop is that allows you to figure out how something would work conceptually. Then you can Google how do I while loop in Rust, for example. Yeah, learning the language of programming, the terminology is really, really important because then you can Google for it. Yeah, absolutely. You're not looking for followers, you're looking for company, but still. Well, I mean, I don't know if I can hang out with you on your stream, but you can always hang out with me on our stream. And then also, I have a Discord. If you want to hang out there too, we are happy to chat about programming and sometimes not programming stuff there too. So, always happy to provide some kind of company, even if it is asynchronous. All right, let me clean up all this stuff because it is after ending time. We have, okay, we were writing a new article for query parameters. That looks fine. Let's quit and close that. That looks fine. You're good. You're closed. You're closed. Oh, and then quit on view. Okay, we're good to go there. Everything's happy. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, certain links are allowed, and some links are not allowed. I think Pastebin I've gone back and forth on because it can show some stuff that are bad, so I don't know. Let me take a look at this. Understand that. There you go. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, sometimes people put dangerous code in code. So yeah, we've had some bad links in the past, and every time that I like enabled it, I then regretted it afterwards. So I just go for the whitelisting all like specific domains, and then we're fine with that. So okay. Cross term style. Yeah, so you can basically set what your colors are. You use RGB. And then you can then print your messages out with just setting, okay, so formatted message, push string format. Yeah, this looks pretty easy. That's pretty cool. Absolutely. Happy to sort of like take a look at these things. Like at this point in time, I like a big purpose for like my streaming in the morning is actually like de-stressing by hanging out with all of you guys and sort of like a mob programming session. And then the other part is actually working on the course. Sometime eventually I won't have quite as much craziness during the day, and then I'll be able to like actually focus and work on it. But until then, it's one of the reasons why it's taking so long. All right, we are gonna have to end now. I have to head off to my day job. So let's see who's streaming. Is there anybody streaming? Kuvaman is streaming. Kuvaman is streaming is automating stuff in Rust. So let's go ahead and set up a raid for Kuvaman. Oh, and apparently it's Kuvaman's affiliate anniversary. So that's an exciting thing. I know, there's so many ads in these. Also, I zoom in on all my browser pages so everybody can see it, so the ads become huge. All right, so we'll set up a raid for that. All right, everybody. I will be back on Monday morning. I do these streams every weekday morning, starting at around 6 a.m. Mountain Time, and then we go for about 2.5 hours or so. So with that, I hope that you all have a great rest of your Friday. Hope you all have a great weekend, and I will see you next week. Have a good one, and bye.